As the days go by, more and more pieces of the puzzle begin to form. Today, we have one more piece of that puzzle. Hey guys, welcome to Frame Chasers, the place where we only care about the fastest. We only test the fastest. Our journey to enlightenment is the fastest. Nothing else. And in our journey to the fastest, we must power mod and water cool a 3090. Because that is going to be the fastest. All you 6900 XT unfortunate souls. So what do we got in the menu today? Well, I will have appetizer of an unboxing with the main course of a install with the dessert of a power mod, I guess. Just gonna move this camera down so you can see what's going on here. I'm not gonna bother with the install cam till later. Alright, okay. Ooh. So we got the box, blah blah blah. Let's open her up, see what comes inside. Ooh, look at all that AMD slaying goodness. All that AMD slaying destruction. Alright, I don't need any of this shit. Thermal pads. Okay, I'm probably gonna be using my own thermal pads here for the memory. I'm gonna be using the Thermal Grizzly minus pad 8 just because they transfer heat better. Holy shit, this is a big boy. I mean, I guess it has to be, but this is EK could have packaged this a bit better actually. It's just like, I guess it doesn't matter if it rolls around, but it's like there's a lot of, yeah, they clearly did this in a rush because they just like put 2 pieces of foam and put this on top to like hold it in place. Kind of, they could have done better there, but whatever. If it works, it works. I'm not sure if I like this design. Not from an EK standpoint, but more from an Ampere one. Like, if you look at the Optimus water blocks, too, they kind of look similar. Like, this thing is fat as hell, dude. What is going on here? It looks nice, but I mean, yeah, she's a porker. She's that Texas toast. Yo, what the hell? EK legit did not include an instruction manual. Am I missing something? Huh. Yeah. Maybe I'll have to download it from the website here. I hope they have one. I mean, I'll figure it out on my own anyway, but I've never seen an instruction manual not get mailed before. Alright, I just checked. They do have an instruction manual. Here, let me show you. Yeah. Okay, so not a big deal. I mean, if you order this and you don't get one, just go online and find it. So I'll just be following this manual here. Alright, that's the front. Let's see what we got for the back. So I got the back plate, obviously. I'm hoping it's solid and flat so that I can put my MP5 Works cooler on it. And actually, we'll be doing a special piece with the MP5 Works cooler later. I'm actually going to be drilling it straight into the back plate and threading it down. But they're actually sending me extra acrylic tops so that I can practice drilling on it and stuff. So that'll be for a future video. But let's see how thick this thing is quickly. Oh, that's nice. Still has random slits in it though. I don't know why they would. That's fine. I'll make it work. But this is not like. This is nothing special, I must say. It's not It's not really thick. Don't let the lips confuse you here. It's quite a thin, like, yeah, it's quite light and thin. But I mean, I guess it's so large and the third, like, look at where the memory pads go. And if it absorbs here, look how much extra shit is over here for it to actually, like, draw heat away. Throw on an MP5 works right there, and you're laughing all the way home, right? Actually, what I'm gonna show you quickly in the meantime. So the 3090 Strix might have had like a bad batch of some sort, where the cooler wasn't actually clamping enough pressure on the die, or it might have not been clamping pressure. It might have just been a crooked die as well. So for those of you that remember my stream that one day when I got my Strix, how the temperatures were so high in the benchmark, I had a lot of people after saying, dude, I have the exact same problem, right? And I never made a video on how I fixed it because I thought maybe it was just a one-off, like it was just my card. And if it's just my card, I would rather fix it myself than send it for RMA, right? Because I can't be waiting around for another Strix, right? So, let me show you what I did to fix it anyway for those people that have Strix mounting pressure problems and that need a fix. Let me just see if I can get this on a better view. Yeah, you can kind of see that. Do you see? I put rubber washers. Like not like a plastic washer, but like a rubber washer underneath here. And I got them from like old automotive O-rings that I had in the garage, right? And they fit perfectly right there. And that fixed it for me. So, yeah, just the old school washer trick to increase a little bit of mounting pressure worked on my car just fine. Yeah, so, but I didn't use like a washer. I used like a really fat O-ring that had a lot of compression to it. So I figured a plastic shim wouldn't be able to like pressure balance as well as O-rings would. I don't know. That's pretty much what I did. Here we go. So yeah, it's just these little guys. That's it. It's like the smallest automotive O-ring and the fattest one that you can find. I'll actually post which size this is after. I have a box in my garage. I'll post it in the description below for anyone that is having this mounting pressure problem. But these things worked perfectly for it. They fit right over top, and it's just perfect. That's perfect. Anyway, back to the Waterblock thing. So before we actually get to the Waterblock install portion of the video, I'm gonna power mod it, but I'm going to try and use the glue method. I've had this card for maybe 3 weeks or so, and like that's usually before you power mod something or shunt mod something, you wanna put it through a bunch of heat cycles to make sure there's no RMA problems, right? So if you like you know how people always say you should baby your components? No, man, it's the exact opposite. You want to hammer the shit out of it as hard as you can, fur mark it and all that good shit. Make sure there's nothing to RMA before you touch it, right? Because once you actually touch it, there is no going back after. So, what the glue method essentially does is, well, I mean, if I can get it to work with this many shunts, right? If I can actually glue them all down properly and get the shunt to work with the glue method, I can stress load the card with like 1,000 watts of power without voiding my warranty, right? So if anything happens, I'm not shit out of luck, right? Whether that's ethically correct to you or not, that's not the point of this channel. Yeah. So first things first, let's start gluing some stuff down. Those that have been following me for a while know that with my whole 3080 shunting escapades, if you want to call it, I don't know what you'd even call it, but with my journey, I first tried to use the glue method on my 3080, and I failed because I didn't know at the time, well, nobody knew at the time, that the 3000 series cards are, like, they're load balanced in such a way, I'm trying to move this towards you guys so you can see, they're load balanced in such a way that you can't just shunt the 8-pin rails, right? Let me move this camera over a little bit over here. There we go. Okay. That's better. So yeah, you can't just shunt mod the 8-pin rails, right? You have to actually shunt mod every single one and all the small ones and all the load balancing ones. You pretty much have to fake the entire board into believing it's drawing less power so that it draws more power from the entire board. If one of those sensors detects that... If one of the sensors detects that it's drawing more power than all the other ones, it will load balance the entire card, right? So the reason why this is not... The reason why this would prove difficult with the glue method is simply how you're going to know if all 6 of your, or all 7 or 8 of your glues are, you know, contacting properly, right? Like, I'm literally going to try this anyway, and I don't care too much if it doesn't work, because then I will just take it apart after and just solder them. I'm like, this board, I'm like 99.9% sure that there's no defects on this board, nothing to RMA, so I am okay shunt modding it, but it can't hurt to start with the glue method, right? Can't hurt. Now, on that note, you might also be asking, isn't shunting the PCI Express shunt dangerous? And to that answer, I would say it depends on what card you have. If you have an EVGA card, yes. They screwed up the load balancing on their cards to where the PCI Express is drawing 30 to 40 watts more than other vendors. So this card draws only 50 watts from the PCI Express slot, right? So if I shunt this, it might draw up to like 80 or 90, right? The EVGA cards will draw 85 to 90 watts stock. And if you shunt that, you're going to draw 120 to 130 watts through there. So just don't buy, just this generation, don't buy EVGA cards. They really done goofed this generation. Do not buy EVGA. But I also have a fix for that too. I'll do another video on that, but I do have a fix for the EVGA cards. Because apparently I'm not big enough to get a response from the EVGA guys. So we're going to have to fix our problem ourselves, boys, because they don't give a shit about us. Okay, so just reading the instructions here. These are all 1mm thermal pads, which that makes it really easy. I mean, thankfully EK just machined their entire block to just work with 1mm pads. So, I'm going to use the minus pad 8s for the ICs. I'm just going to use 1mm ones because I have those. And then I'll use these ones for the rest of the board. And then I'm going to put it, and then I'll be back. Now, here is my little trick to make sure that the glued shunts all work out for you. So EK tells you to cut out a strip here and put it over top of this entire section, right? So, and obviously the shunts are at a lower level than the chokes are, right? Or the power stages, what you want to call them. So, what we're going to be doing here, I put an extra 1mm thermal pad over all of the shunts. Then I'm going to put this over top. Then I'm going to clamp it. And then what that's going to do is going to apply pressure to all those shunts as well to make sure that they're contacting, right? Just a little frame chaser warranty trick for you. Okay, so I just finished up here. Couple of things to note. This shunt over here on the very right of the board is like, it doesn't actually like Like, there's nothing here to push it down, if you know what I mean. So this one on the very right, if you're going to be doing this, you have to glue it down really hard, really good. Confirm contact with the multimeter before you continue. These four over here, they all get pushed down just fine. Lastly, in the instructions, they said that they included more than enough thermal pads, but this is all I was left with. And I used my own memory ones. So they must have shorted me one, or they miscalculated. I'm not sure. I didn't really, I didn't mess up any of them either. This is literally all I was left with. So if you are getting this kit, make sure that you have 1mm thermal pads on hand, because you're going to be short. I'm not sure if this is just a bad batch or whatever, but you're going to be short. Make sure you order extras. Also, don't forget to add... Where the heck is it now? Yeah. Don't forget to add a 2mm thermal pad down on the PCI Express one down here to push it down. So these four up here, this one down here, one on the right has to be glued. So I got the front plate all finished up here. She looks good. No problems at all. Nothing. Everything worked out great. Shunted this one over here. This is the last one. And, you know... Oddly and surprisingly enough, I don't see those 3 mini shunts on this board like there were on the EVGA ones. Which is interesting. Maybe those ones are the ones that have the load balancing problem. Also interesting, all of these banks of capacitors are empty. So they kind of cheaped out here, and they're 470 microfarads. So, maybe I just found a use for all of those capacitors those 470 microfarad capacitors that I just bought. I could totally fill this in, no problem. For a future video. Alright, for the back plate, we got 2mm, 1.5mm, and 1mm. So, make sure you put the right ones in the right spot. No instruction manual again. I had to go online to find the instruction manual for the back plate. Ta-da! It is well, ignore the fingerprints, but, yeah, very, very nice looking piece, I must say. Well, once it's actually all together, this is really, really nice. One thing to note, though, if you do buy this, the hex screws here are, like, not tight enough at all. Like, look how much play out, like this would have leaked for sure if I turned it on without checking this. If you do buy this, make sure you just go around and check all these before you turn it on. I've had this happen lots of times before, though. Like, pretty much almost every single block I've ever owned of some sort, these have always come loose from the factory. You always have to tighten them down again. It's like, I don't know, it's like normal at this point. But yeah, that's about it. So all in all, seems like a fine product, nothing wrong with it so far. A few early adopter problems, the packaging was crap. I mean, it was fine, it got here in one piece, but it was kind of lackluster. No instructions in the box for both, and these were loose from the factory, these hex screws, and not enough thermal pads for the front plate. But again, these are all just early adopter problems. As long as the product gets here physically fine and it works fine, I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass that it's missing thermal pads. I got tons of my own, right? And you should always have more of your own too for things like this. Like, you never know, mistakes happen, right? I dub thee Console Destroyer 2.0. This isn't even my final form. Oh my god, I should have checked this before I actually screwed the back plate down. So I'm trying to, like, put the MP5 Works BPC on. And, same thing as... So it's the same thing as the Strix backplate, where, like, they kind of add a little bit of a lip onto it, so, like, you can't actually get the hook on. So now I gotta take it off again, and then file everything down the same way I did in that last video, so... always check what you want to do before you assemble the damn thing. You'd think I would learn my lesson by now. Alright, so before installing, I put a little strip of thermal pad there to get into the indent, just for more contact. I dub thee 6900 XT Slayer version 3.0. Possibly its final form. Maybe. But seriously though, that's how it's done, boys. This is not messing around. This is the big dick shit right here. This is a $2,000 just everything destroyer. I'm so excited. Let's go. Oh.